me ask you a rhetorical question. Of course, that means I don't want an answer. But think about this. The question is, do you know that 99%, do you know that you're exactly 99% like the person sitting next to you? 99% like the person walking down the street? The person making $60 million a year, like the politicians that you hate to love and love to hate, and even like the men and women sitting in prison, sometimes waiting on death row. Wait a second, notice that I said 99%, like the person sitting next to you. Not 100%. Not everybody's 100% alike. There's a low leftover 1% that I would like to inform you about. In reality, according to the National Institute of Justice Research, Development, and Evaluation Agency of the U.S. Department of Justice, and I quote this information because this is so important, only 0.1% of the DNA differs from one person to the next. However, they added that the exception to this rule is in case of identical twins. First, what is DNA? Deoxyribonucleic acid. DNA is where is it found? This is different strands of DNA. You have adenine, thymine, guanine, and cytosine. The different parts that make up the cell of DNA. Our main sources are National Institute of Justice Research, Development, and Evaluation Agency, DNA Testing and Criminal Justice, NIJ, DNI Evidence Basis, and the Scientific Testimony Online Journal. Let's look at how DNA can be a powerful tool for becoming each person's DNA is different from everybody else and can implement or eliminate life changes. According to the National Institute of Justice, states began collecting DNA samples in the 1980s. Simultaneously, the FBI began working with federal, state, and local forensics to create guidelines to set of use of DNA, basically to help, get people out of prison that's already locked up. The criminal community began using analysts and investigations to carry out these results in the courtroom. Congress launched the National DNA Index System in 1980s with only 9 states participating. As of January 2011, there were 198 laboratories participating in NDIS. The FBI operates a DNA database and divides samples into one of 3 indexes: convicted offenders, arrestees, and forensics. They include samples collected at a crime scene, which can then help compare and generate leads in criminal investigations. Because of varying factors like the non-use of DNA, faulty investigations, and poor representation, criminal producers, men and women, are serving time in prison for crimes they did not commit. The Innocent Project, a non-profit organization run by a team of lawyers and law students who work for free, mostly forbidden and poor people from prison. The Innocent Project statistics for 2010 show how DNA is beneficial in exonerating people. This is just basically the same thing I just said. DNA exonerated men and women in 36 states in the District of Columbia since 2000. The 3 top states for exoneration are New York, Texas, and Illinois. 47 states have passed laws granting access to post-conviction DNA testing. 50% of all exonerations are proven by DNA. 29 exonerated men pled guilty to crimes they did not commit. Of the DNA exonerated people, 18 served time on death row. The Innocence Project statistics also show a breakdown of race exonerees. They are as follows. Innocent Project statistics. Race of the 311 exonerees are as follows. There were 193 African Americans, 94 Caucasians, 22 Latinos, and 2 Asian Americans. Some well-known and genealogy cases come to light using DNA. Thomas Jefferson, the 3rd President of the United States, was found to have fathered 6 colored children by his servant, Sally Hemings. The military uses DNA to identify soldiers killed in action, especially when there are few remains. King George III of England was positively identified 500 years after his death from bones found in the parking lot. Today we have briefly looked how deoxyribonucleic acid, or DNA as is better known, is a fundamental part of our genetic makeup, used extensively in law enforcement. It has greatly helped to solve crimes and possibly identifying someone who is near or involved in crime. We saw how the use of DNA testing can free men and women from prison who did not commit crimes for which they are serving time for, even if they admit that they did commit the crime. Thank you for coming to my presentation.